actually, where is it now? So if I jump down to verse 27, it says, and Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned his strength. Oh, actually, where's the verse now? Okay, you know what? It's actually verse 25, it says, oh my bad, it's 22. It says, and the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And when I jump down to verse 27, it says, and Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea. So when the Israelites got on the other side of the Red Sea, now the Egyptians are in the middle of the Red Sea, yeah? And here's what Moses does. He lifts up his hand again with his rod, and it says here, and the sea returned his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea, and the waters returned and covered the chariots, the horsemen, and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remains not so much as one of them. So here's the evidence, yeah? The Most High said, when Moses and the Israelites passed through the Red Sea, God returned the waters on the Egyptians. Basically, you've got Egyptian chariots running into the midst of the Red Sea with horses, and then all of a sudden they get flooded, yeah?
That's all within books.
So check it out. The evidence is, if you wanted to find the evidence, if that happened, you'd want to find Egyptian chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea. You'd want to find remains of horses at the bottom of the Red Sea, yeah? And not only would you want to find these Egyptian chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea, you'd need to be able to date these Egyptian chariots to see if they are consistent with the Egyptian dynasty that was in prominence in the time of Moses, right? So check this out. I'm going to show you the evidence, because they've actually found Egyptian chariots in the middle of the Red Sea, encased in barnacles. They found horse hooves, yeah, at the bottom of the Red Sea, and they found hundreds of chariots at the bottom of the Red Sea, and they're encased in barnacles, and they've been preserved. And check it out as well, when they've looked at these Egyptian chariots, they've counted 4 spokes on them. Four spokes on the Egyptian chariots. Now what's significant about 4 spokes being on the Egyptian chariots in the Red Sea is on the hieroglyphics, yeah, we can see that in the time and dynasty where Moses would have been in Egypt, these were the kind of chariots they were using. Because we know over time, chariots and designs for vehicles, they change, they have certain nuances. For example, the cars of 20 years ago look different to the cars 50 years ago, look different to the cars today. So what they're saying is the chariots specifically that they see in the Red Sea, they've got the same amount of spokes in the same dynasty of the Pharaoh that ruled in Moses' time. So there's the evidence. That's why we would believe the Red Sea account of Moses parting the Red Sea, because how on earth would all of these chariots get into the middle of the Red Sea? How could they find all these chariots in the Red Sea? What were Egyptians suicidal? Were they just riding their very expensive chariots into the Red Sea for no reason? Go on. Yeah, go on.
It's only been 2 days.
So what evidence have you got to prove that the Red Sea wasn't as broad as it is today? Can you show me one of them? So you said you studied oceanography, right? What oceans have you studied? And what did you study about the Red Sea? Yeah. So what you're saying, the Red Sea used to be really narrow?
It wasn't as narrow, it just didn't go as far back. There was a lot more land there was. The oceans have lost.
So would it be easy for someone just to walk over the Red Sea back in those days? And 1 second, because the thing about Moses, right? That Moses, yeah, that was roughly about 3,500 years ago, right? So how do you know the condition of the Red Sea 3,500 years ago? Do you know the condition of the Red Sea 250 years ago? What was it like then?